Hello, good afternoon or good morning. I'm not sure when you will be watching this, but I felt compelled today to do another Bible reading video. It's also really exciting because I usually read the Bible anyways, so I would love to share my findings with you. Today we will be going through Judges chapter 6, and in the next video I will be sharing the 7th chapter of Judges with you just to continue on this story. Oh, and I will be popping up Magic the Gathering cards on screen, so we can still continue the theme of Magic the Gathering on my YouTube channel. It's actually really funny. I chose this story because the main character in this story has the same name as a character in Magic the Gathering. And when it pops up on
Wow.
screen, it's going to be pretty obvious. But I also just really love this story, so it was impossible not to make a video on it. Without further ado, let's get started. Judges chapter 6. Judges is the 7th book of the Old Testament, and my reading will be from the NASB version. So all the thee, thy, thous are going to be replaced with yours and yous. Then the sons of Israel did what was evil in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord gave them into the hands of the Midian for 7 years. The power of Midian prevailed against Israel. Because of the Midian, the sons of Israel made for themselves the dens which were in the mountains and the caves and the strongholds. For it was when Israel had sown that the Midianites would come up with the Amalekites and the sons of the east and go against them. So this is actually pretty smart on the Midianites and the Amalekites, because what they would do is they were waiting for the Israelites to plant their crops, and during harvest time, that's when they decided to attack. This is the equivalent of Magic the Gathering land destruction, right? They're trying to cut off all their resources. So they would camp against them and destroy the produce of the earth as far as Gaza, and leave no sustenance in Israel, as well as no sheep, ox, or donkey. For they would come up with their livestock and their tents. They would come in like locusts for number. Both they and their camels were innumerable, and they came into the land to devastate it. So Israel was brought very low because of the Midian, and the sons of Israel cried out to the Lord. So it's pretty obvious at this point that the Israelites were in a losing position. They did not have a good board state at all. Now it came about when the sons of Israel cried to the Lord on account of the Midian, that the Lord sent a prophet to the sons of Israel. And he said to them, Thus says the Lord, the God of Israel, It was I who brought you up from Egypt and brought you out from the house of slavery. I delivered you from the hands of the Egyptians, and from the hands of all your oppressors, and dispossessed them before you, and gave you their land. And I said to you, I am the Lord your God. You shall not fear the gods of the Amorites in whose land you live, but you have not obeyed me. Then the angel of the Lord came and sat under the oak that was in Ophrah, which belonged to Joash, the Abiezrite, as his son Gideon was beating out wheat in the winepress in order to save it from the Midianites. The angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, The Lord is with you, O valiant warrior. Then Gideon said to him, O my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles, which our fathers told us about, saying, Did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt? Now the Lord has abandoned us, and given us into the hands of the Midian. The Lord looked at him, and said, Go in this your strength, and deliver Israel from the hand of the Midian. Have I not sent you? He said to him, O Lord, how shall I deliver Israel? Behold, my family is the least in Manasseh, and I am the youngest in my father's house. So Gideon is definitely an underdog here. He's the youngest in his family, and also his family is the least successful in all of the land. But the Lord said to him, Surely I will be with you, and you shall defeat the Midian as one man. So Gideon said to him, If now I have found favor in your sight, then show me a sign that it is you who speak with me. Please do not depart from here until I come back to you, and bring out my offering and lay it before you. And Gideon replied, I will remain here until you return. Then Gideon went in and prepared a young goat and unleavened bread and an ephah of flour. He put the meat in a basket and the broth in a pot, and brought them out to him under the oak, and presented them. The angel of God said to him, Take the meat and the unleavened bread, and lay them on this rock, and pour out the broth. And he did so. Then the angel of the Lord put out the end of the staff that was in his hand, and touched the meat and the unleavened bread, and fire sprang up from the rock, and consumed the meat and the unleavened bread. Then the angel of the Lord vanished from his sight. Then Gideon saw that he was the angel of the Lord. He said, Alas, O Lord, for now I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. The Lord said to him, Peace to you. Do not fear. You shall not die. Yeah, that's pretty convincing. Suffice it to say, the Lord proved to Gideon that it was him. I mean, I would also be freaking out just like Gideon at this point. Then Gideon built an altar there to the Lord, and named it, The Lord is Peace. To this day, it is still in Ophrah of the Abiezrites. Now, on the same night, the Lord said to him, Take your father's bull, and a second bull 7 years old, and pull down the altar of Baal, which belongs to your father, and cut down the Asherah that is beside it. Build an altar to the Lord your God on the top of this stronghold in an orderly manner, and take a second bull, and offer a burnt offering with the wood of the Asherah which you shall cut down. Then Gideon took 10 men of his servants, and did as the Lord had spoken to him. And because he was too afraid of his father's household and the men of the city to do so by day, he did it by night. When the men of the city arose early in the morning, behold, the altar of Baal was torn down, and the Asherah that was beside it was cut down, and the second bull was offered on the altar which had been built. So at this point, it's pretty clear to see that they were worshipping Baal instead of the Lord, which is probably what got them into this mess in the first place. But they're still going to be super upset about it. They said to one another, Who did this thing? And when they searched about and inquired, they said, Gideon the son of Joash did this thing. Then the men of the city said to Joash, Bring out your son, that he may die, for he has torn down the altar of Baal, and indeed he has cut down the Asherah that was beside it. But Joash said to all those who stood against him, Will you contend for Baal, or will you deliver him? Whoever will plead for him shall be put to death by morning. If he is a god, let him contend for himself, because someone has torn down his altar. Very smart politics from Joash. Whoever destroyed Baal's altar should now suffer the wrath of Baal. So basically nothing's going to happen to Gideon now. Therefore, on that day, he named him Jerubbaal. That is to say, let Baal contend against him, because he had torn down his altar. Then the Midianites and the Amalekites and the sons of the east assembled themselves, and they crossed over and camped in the valley of Jezreel. So the Spirit of the Lord came upon Gideon, and he blew a trumpet, and the Abiezrites were called together to follow him. He sent messengers throughout Manasseh, and they also were called together to follow him. And he sent messengers to Asher and Zebulun and Naphtali, and they came up to meet them. Then Gideon said to God, If you will deliver Israel through me, as you have spoken, behold, I will put a fleece of wool on the threshing floor. If there is dew on the fleece only, and it is dry on all the ground, then I will know that you will deliver Israel through me, as you have spoken. It's at this point that Gideon is either trying to find a way out of this, or just making sure that God is powerful enough to complete miracles. And it was so. When he arose early the next morning, he squeezed the fleece. He drained the dew from the fleece, a bowl full of water. Then Gideon said to God, "Do not let your anger burn against me, that I may speak once more. Please let me make a test once more with the fleece. Let it now be dry only on the fleece, and let there be dew on all the ground." God did so that night, for it was only dry on the fleece, and the dew was all on the ground. And the next would be chapter 7, which I'm going to get into next time because this video is going to take a lot of editing. So thank you so much for your patience. I'm still trying to push a video out every single week. So thank you so much for listening and hanging out with me, and I cannot wait to see you guys on the next video. Take care and God bless.